Welcome back to the Growth Show. I'm your host, Whitney, and today I am going to be talking about something that I actually shared on the podcast recently, and I heard from some of you about it, and so I really wanted to unpack it more and really talk about it. So what I said recently was that people aren't buying courses anymore, nearly not as much as they used to, now that they can find a lot of their information online. I said that they don't want to sit through hours of content just to figure out how to solve a problem, and that we need to find new ways to help our customers. And I got some people responding and saying, yes, I agree with that, totally. But others told me they didn't agree. And so I really just want to dive into this question of, are courses dead? Can we still make money from courses? Are they still valuable? Or if not courses, then what? What is that alternative here? Now, I have a lot of notes because I want to make sure that I cover every point that I want to make with this, because it's, of course, very nuanced. There's a lot to unpack. Probably got your attention with our course is dead, but of course, there's much more to the story, and that's what I really want to go through with you today. And let's just also make sure that we're on the same page about what courses are. So when I say a course, I'm talking about like a video-based, asynchronous content without any live interactive components. So no membership, no calls. It's just a self-paced course. Think of Udemy or any other kind of course. And I'm thinking of courses that are priced under $500, well under $500. In the past, maybe they were selling for $500, but generally speaking, courses that are a smaller price tag. Now, I think courses that can still be an effective tool to educate and motivate and facilitate behavior change in your clients. So I 100% still believe that courses can be powerful for educating and affecting change and all of that. I am not going to sit here and debate their value in that way. And there are so many talented and knowledgeable professionals out there who are still creating and running very valuable, life-changing courses for their clients and patients out there. So that still exists, and those people that are doing that and doing it well and getting great results for their customers, and their customers are continuing to buy that course and engage with it, then that's amazing. However, trying to build a business or make significant income from those kinds of self-paced, low-priced courses, and only them, and building your business off of just courses at this point, I think is going to be an uphill battle. And that's really what I want to focus on today. So you may feel a sort of way about courses and their value and all of that, but how do your customers feel about courses? What are they willing to buy? What do they see value in these days? Because remember, we are all business owners, and I'm being a bit hyperbolic here, but also not. It doesn't matter. And really, that's what I want to focus on today. Not how you feel about courses and your value, if you value them and all of that, but really how your customers feel about courses. Because remember, we are all business owners, and to an extent, it doesn't really matter how we feel, think, believe about things. If our customers don't need it, don't want it, don't understand it, don't value it, don't get results from it, then it's really not a viable thing. Our job is to bridge that gap between what we believe and what we know and what our customers need and what they think they need. And sometimes we need to change our approach based on the needs of our audience. And we've all learned that in school too. If you're giving education, client education, giving a talk, we have to adapt to the needs of our audience. As business owners, we have to be doing the same. It can be maybe a bit more daunting. We can have stories in our head about this thing is making it mean that I'm not good at my job, or it's going to be really hard to pivot and change. And I get that. It is challenging as a business owner to be continually thinking, man, my work is never done. I get somewhere, I think I figured something out, and then a new problem arises, but that is just the nature of business. Okay, back to courses. So selling courses and making income from courses. Let's talk about that. It's not how it used to be even 6 years ago. So go back to 2020, pandemic times. That was a different time. Courses and online courses really exploded. People had a lot of time. They often had some excess money. Selling courses was gravy. It was working well for a lot of people. You didn't need to have a big audience or a lot of sales savvy to sell courses and make good money at that point. Of course, not everyone was successful, not saying that at all, but it definitely was easier. 6 years later, the world could not look more different. The way people can get information has completely changed. Even how people are getting information 6 months ago has changed, let alone 6 years ago. How they solve problems has changed. Their tolerance for learning, ingesting, and getting answers is shifting. AI is having an impact. The economy and the political climate are having an impact as well. So it's not just AI. I mean, it plays a part in it, but the world itself has changed. There's a lot more pressure, stress. People are just changing how they learn, how they solve problems. And let me just give you two recent examples of this shifting landscape and all of that. So I personally am diving deep into learning how to leverage AI tools and knowledge and basically orchestration. How do you direct AI tools to help with websites and marketing? Because that's my business. And I found someone online who I really jived with. I wanted to learn more from him. He has a course on his site. It looked really good, but he also had a membership and a community. And what I really want right now is not just the learning, but the feedback and the community and the ability to ask questions and learn and all of that. So this course is included inside of his membership. And to me, it was a no-brainer then. I joined his membership and now he gets monthly recurring revenue from me and I get what I wanted. I wanted more personal touch and connection. Now, could I go and learn the things? This is an AI guy himself. I can go and learn these things online for free, but I want someone who is organizing the information and also being there for me to ask questions. So we are not being replaced by AI. This is the same for the way people get information has changed, how they solve problems has changed, their tolerance for learning has changed, how they ingest information, how they get answers and solve problems is shifting. AI is having an impact, but that's not the only thing. The economy, the political climate is having an impact. Just the weight of the world, frankly, on people is forcing them to feel like they need to move faster, they need to get quicker answers. AI is definitely part of the mix. It's not the only piece, though. It's also just that general feeling of people. So let me give you just two recent examples of this need for more support, but in different ways. So I'm diving deep into learning AI myself and how to leverage AI for doing better with websites and marketing and all of that, and just improving my productivity and things in my business and creating cooler, better things for all of you as well. And I found someone online who I really jived with. I wanted to learn more from him. He has a course on his site and it looked really good. It looked really valuable. But he also had a membership. And what I really want right now is not just the learning by myself and that asynchronous off on my own. I really wanted feedback and community and the ability to ask questions and learn from others and all of that. And so the course that he offers is included in his membership. So at that point, it was a no-brainer. I joined his membership and now he has monthly recurring revenue from me, not just a one-time course purchase. And I get what I wanted to. So it's a win-win. So I still see value in that course that he was offering, but if that's all he was offering, I probably wouldn't have bought it because I was really looking for more support to actually get where I was wanting to go. I didn't want just the knowledge, I wanted the transformation, okay? And then a client of ours, she agreed with me that people probably aren't buying courses a whole lot. She has a course, but she tried an experiment and did a sale of her course to her email list and ended up making 20 sales. Now, she did offer it at a deep discount, but those buyers are now very, very warm, and they could be great candidates for other offers and services that she has within her business. Here's then what you should take from these two stories and examples. First off, people may still get a lot of value from your course, but what makes them say yes now is that human aspect, that ability for them to actually truly get the result that they are after. So how are you going to help them be successful in whatever thing you're offering to them? How can they connect with others that are going through their problems? How can you get them to their goal faster as well? Not just assure that they'll get there, but how can they get there even faster? And sure, you are still going to have some people who will take the time to watch 10 videos in your course and be really happy and get some great results. That's definitely still going to happen. But most people looking for help are not looking at something that is going to require them on their own to hold themselves accountable to watch hours of videos and self-motivate themselves to do the work over weeks or probably even months, if we're being honest with the amount of time everyone has these days. So what you can do instead is bundle your course into an offer that cuts down on that time or effort needed to get to their result, and that brings in a human component into the mix, whether it's with you one-to-one in a group setting or a community or a combination of all of those different things. And here's just another example of what happened in our own business. So you may have seen us launch our ad services a few months ago, and that was an experiment that we ran as well. We wanted to see which level of support people were most interested in. So we had 3 different versions. We had a DIY, so we had just the course. We had a middle ground where we did some of the work, and then we had one where we did all of the work. We created the ads, the creative, did the targeting, set up the whole campaign, all of that. And the numbers were very telling. So we sold one of the DIY, but we of the 4 other options that we sold, 2 came from the middle ground and 2 came from the full we'll do everything. Now, that is selling ads. That is more of a business to business product. And it's not nutrition counseling or clinical services where it's more business to consumer. But I really am willing to bet that that trend is going to be similar for you too. So yes, your course may sell. You may have some buyers for that product. But if you were to add more support or interaction into that offering and lead with that, and lead that people are actually going to get you and they're going to be able to ask questions and just get further faster, then it could sell better. Plus, you're likely to get better results for people, for your customers. So it really is a win-win there. So I think it's just something to keep in mind that the course can underpin a really powerful program or even something that's a small thing like a membership, because that self-paced learning we know is still valuable, and you are not just a generated talking head. You're giving valuable information that still exists, but people may not want to sit down and just have to watch the full thing to get to their end result. They may like to come to a call every so often, or ask a question in a community, or hear what other people are struggling with, and then they can dip in and out of your course videos. Maybe they can look at some other resources. So it's really a mixed learning environment. And I don't think that this is anything new. We know that the more interactivity that people generally have when it comes to behavior change and learning, and they can apply things and learn from others, that's going to be a more valuable experience anyway. And I think now, just in the climate of everything, I think it's even more valuable and important for us to focus on those kinds of learning experiences and using courses as a supplemental tool, not necessarily as the only solution that we're offering to people. Okay, so the second point that I want to make here about all of this is that courses can still work as a business revenue stream if they are part of a larger revenue strategy. So building a business solely off of low or medium priced courses and having that be your main revenue driver without any other revenue streams or larger services or offers, or making them these self-paced versions that I was talking about, that likely is not going to get you the income that you're looking at if you are looking to quit your full-time job or have an income that's going to support you if you don't have a partner or whatever the case is. I'm talking like even 50K to really have, and even in most parts of the United States, it's not going to get you very far. So, but if we take that example, so with courses, what's going to happen is that you're going to need a lot of volume, and it really becomes a numbers game. So to make 50K off of a 50 course, for example, and honestly, a lot of courses these days, you are seeing people discount them very deeply to $50. I think sometimes too, you can see it more in the B2B space and the coaching and business spaces, because those can deliver big monetary result. But when it comes to health, charging for a completely self-paced course and charging hundreds of dollars for it without any other kind of live interactive supportive component, I think might be a little tough at that price point these days. So if we say $50 for just this purely self-paced course, you would need 1,000 buyers in a year to make that 50,000. And assuming a 1 to 2% conversion rate off of the people that you reach to get that 1,000 buyers, you'd need to be reaching at least 50,000 people a year, which is a lot. Take it from me. Sometimes these numbers, 1,000 buyers, that's only a couple hundred a month. That's not that bad, or it's not even a couple hundred. It still is, it's a lot of work to sell passive products. It's a lot of work to get people to see the value in something where they're not even getting a piece of you. So selling courses is a challenge in and of itself. Selling anything we know is challenging, and sometimes it can be actually harder to sell lower ticket things than a higher ticket thing for all those different dynamics. So what I would say is a low ticket course can fit into a larger strategy. Maybe it's an entry-level product that gets people a sample of your work with the intention to move them into a bigger, more comprehensive offer. Or maybe you have other offers and courses are just one thing that you promote occasionally and have in your repertoire, but you also focus on one-to-one counseling, or you do some consulting work, or you have a large group program, whatever the case is. Think about it like if you only offered single counseling sessions in your practice and you only ever expected people to come to one session. You would probably know that it would take a lot of work to keep getting new people to book sessions. They only came to the one session. Okay, now I have to start all over again. You would probably be looking for ways then at that point of, okay, how can I get them to come to more sessions? How can I offer them something else or something bigger? You would see that just selling single sessions and only ever having just one-time customers coming into your business, that there's just a lot of sales and marketing going on, let alone the delivery. I'm not even talking about, I think we're all very attracted to courses and asynchronous offers because they can scale and it's not trading our time for money and all of that. But the selling of them is not something to be taken lightly. So even if it doesn't take you any time to deliver that course, it could take you a lot of time to sell it, especially if you're just really only selling that and you're not expecting to have a bigger strategy behind how am I increasing the value of each of those new customers that I'm bringing into my world and my business. How am I giving them more value? And how am I continuing to make money? Because it can be very expensive to find customers and market to customers and all of that. So if you're just selling one course and focusing on that and not having anything else behind it and the next step, then you're just spending a lot of time, and it's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and not in a good way. So if you offer a course and you have no plan for people after that, like joining a membership or enrolling in a larger program, okay, so where does this leave you? Where do we go from here? I want to leave on a positive note for you. So if you already are trying to sell a course, or you've been working on a course, or you have dreams of having a course in your business, I don't want this to discourage you at all. What instead I want this to do is give you an honest take on the current landscape and what needs to change in your mindset and your approach if you want to sell courses in 2026 and beyond. So first off, if you can, turn courses into programs, memberships, value, just add value. First, whenever you can, see if you can turn your courses into programs, memberships, any way that you can add real time with you or in a community that is going to add value that no AI or internet search can replace. And your customers will probably be happier and more successful at the end of the day as well. And then have a plan for your buyers. So the course is the beginning, it's not the end. So where else can they go after the course? Where else can they work with you, continue on their journey? Think about that. And then set expectations on the revenue potential for a course on its own and the work involved with it. So if that's truly what you want, if you want courses to be a big part of your business, I would work on building your audience and engaging with them, giving them opportunities to buy your course and seeing how it goes. If they are not buying, then I would look at how you can add more value to the offer or position it not just as a course filled with info that they have to wade through and could find online, but something that's actually different than what's out there and is going to actually help them achieve some kind of transformation and get to that point that they want to be at. You may know how good your course is, but your audience doesn't. They don't. So get comfortable selling, get comfortable really being proud of whatever it is you've put together and sharing that boldly and proudly in your messaging with your audience and doing it again and again and again. Because remember, if you don't ask for the sale, you are not going to get the sale. I think another little misconception is thinking that you can set up a shop page and have your products on your website. And I'll admit, we've got a shop page on our website. Is anyone buying anything from it? No. Am I promoting that page? No. It's there, but I am promoting those products in different ways and using them in different parts of my business. So I think just remember too, just because you see people doing things online doesn't mean that that is driving significant revenue in their business. Or maybe it did at one point, but it's not anymore. And you're not really seeing the shift in dynamics of how they are leveraging the different assets and products that they have. So just keep in mind, there's probably a lot of people right now that had been selling courses in the past that are adjusting and adapting and doing some different things. You may just not see it day to day, but it's definitely out there. And just, again, remember, just having a product and putting it on a website and never actually telling people about it or inviting them to buy it, reminding them about it, and never actually selling it, you will not get the sales that you are looking for. And I know sales can be a thing that is just uncomfortable for so many of us, but trust me, the more you work at it, the better and more comfortable you will get at it. It's always going to be a learning area for us. We're always learning and growing, but I just would say, as someone who also was very uncomfortable with sales and has grown a lot in the past couple of years doing it in my business, it is something that you can feel more comfortable and happy with as time goes on. So to reiterate, courses as a learning tool, self-paced learning, it's always going to have a place. It's always going to be there. But what we need to do is look at how our customers are getting information and learning right now and how we can adapt to meet them where they are and still give them value and support them and educate them with evidence-based information. So we are still, that is our role as practitioners, but how can we meet our customers where they are and where they are looking for information and ingesting information and actually changing behavior right now? And then what are they willing to pay for? How much are they willing to pay? And how can you build a revenue model that allows you to support your clients and also make the income that you want without burning out? So just remember that you also need to be looking at it from a business sense, not just an education or client behavior change sense. We need to be looking at how can the business continue to remain viable as well. So this is just my take on the situation right now. A lot is changing. I may have more thoughts. I will probably have more thoughts to share in a few weeks. And one last thing I'll say though is I don't think some of these ideas that I've shared are new. You've probably heard people talk about the fact of having multiple revenue streams, of having a profit ladder or something where you have entry level and you have higher value products and services. So this is not anything new necessarily, some of these things and strategies. It's just that it's becoming more important now. I think a beautiful thing is that AI is allowing us to automate more of our business and free up more of our time. So it's probably a little bit easier for us to put our time and energy behind some of these higher touch, higher value programs and products, so that yes, having a passive offer is great, but knowing that we need to also offer some higher value things if we really want to make the revenue that we want, it's maybe easier now that we can have more tools available to help us do that, either from a delivery standpoint or at the very least from an admin and operations and even content marketing standpoint as well. All right, so let me know what you think about what I shared. I would love to hear from you. I love having these conversations and hearing what's working for you, what is challenging for you right now. Share it all. You can shoot me an email, info@whitneybateson.com, or send me a DM on Instagram @WhitneyBateson. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in a future episode of The Growth Show.